So, I wasn't intending to do Cronos the New Dawn just yet. There are a few other horror games, I've mentioned them already, like Reanimal, Ground Zero, that debatably I should get around to those first, because Cronos does have a full release. It has been fully released for a while. As far as I know, it was like 5th of September. I don't know why a demo has appeared on the 21st of October, but here we are. Basically, because I've not really played much of what Bloober has done, and I've heard mixed things about different games, we're doing the Cronos demo for two reasons. One, I want to see if this is actually fun and enjoyable, because for Cronos specifically, I've heard that it has performance issues and is fun, but has some problems. Second, it's a demo. Better to try the demo and see if I like it at all, than to buy the whole thing and go, actually, I don't like this that much. There's also another reason as to why we're playing Cronos now. Without naming the game specifically, although people can probably figure it out, there was a demo that was supposed to appear today or yesterday. It still hasn't appeared, so we're not playing that demo. So we're going with Cronos instead. Cronos is the backup plan for all of the other demos, and I've decided we're going to go with this. I have only seen the very slim part of the intro sequence where you basically answer questions. That is it. Frame rate should be fine, but any performance issues, I'll see them. We should be okay. We will see. Fusha, hello. Welcome in. Hope we've had a good night. Fusha says it's a late night spooky Marwol. It is. I was going to go live with a demo like 4 or 5 hours ago, but the demo never arrived, so I played Battlefield 6 instead of giving it the benefit of the doubt, and then now we're here.
Listen to the will of those who will not speak. And if the tools are not willing, they will be.
Operating unit signal loss detected. Lazarus protocol engaged. Welcome, Traveler MD3576. Your predecessor received its functioning. It's time to awaken. Commencing standard cognitive abilities trial. Focus your attention. What do you see?
Animals fighting.
Again.
Rocks. Island.
Again.
Fire. Spreading.
Phase 2. Focus your attention. What is your purpose?
To bring them back.
The family maintains the well-being of its members and of society.
Mother.
A mother is the female parent of a child. Mother.
Mother.
Phase 3. Time pressure. Focus your attention.
attitude.
Conflict will always be found in society. Conflict.
Conflict.
Eternity means the infinite time that never ends. Eternity.
Endless.
Dark.
Dark.
Trial completed. Welcome to the vocation, traveler. Your task is to find your predecessor, ND3500. Secure the anchor. Let our work continue. The collective grants you the key of this relic. It is a ship blade EPH-611. May it serve you all three.
Such is our calling.
Such is our calling. Please step out of the sarcophagus to begin your task. Please. Please step out.
That is our work. Traveler ND3576 initiating the travel log. Triangulating the fallen predecessor's last known location. Commencing search.
And that is about all I've seen. Hold on. My mute button goes to home. That is bizarre. Why would you have that? Why would you ever have that? And I can't change it. I can change it here. Why is home my menu button? Bloober, why? Why would you do this? Just gonna... Yeah, so anything I do involving the home button is going to immediately pause the game. That's going to be annoying. Oh, why would you do this? Anyway. Just double check the controls one more time when I catch up with chat. Fusha said, in regards to that intro we had, which is reminiscent of the Blade Runner 2047 baseline test. Fusha says they saw a big gorilla riding a jetpack. And the point of view of being chomped by a zergling. Also noticed that they didn't tell us our results. I noticed that as well. I thought things might be different. I picked one option that was different that time through than I did the first time. Which was, I picked mother-child the first time as opposed to mother-mother. Doesn't seem to have changed anything. But, yeah, we are Traveler... I'm just going to go with Traveler. I don't remember the whole code. And... we have to go find the last Traveler. The demo is apparently somewhere between 40 minutes to an hour long. Knowing how I play, that could be anywhere from 40 minutes to an hour and a half. So far I actually really like the lighting and the environment we have here. It's very... On the list of very few things I know that the plot in some way, shape or form involves time travel, and that we are, I'm not joking, in Poland. So, presumably this is Poland, after some sort of tragedy or cataclysm or something, and that this isn't just, you know, Warsaw next week. It's really annoying that my hotkey that uses home. No other game have I ever run into an issue where home has been part of some weird control scheme that I also couldn't change, but here we are. Pusha thinks it was 3846. No, it was 3876, maybe 3476. I think it was 3576 or 3586. It's some combination of numbers that I'm sure will come up again at some point. Actually, hold on. Let me get near a light. I'm pretty sure it says it on the collar. 3576. Glad I caught that detail during the cutscene. Now, Bloober are a team that I don't want to say avoided, but I've just not been interested in checking most of their workouts. Because Layers of Fear was a horror game. One that didn't interest me much. Layers of Fear 2, I think, is the one where you're on a boat doing, like, film movie things. I played a little bit of that and thought, yeah, this is pretty generic, standard, sort of spooky whatever. And then they did the Silent Hill 2 remake, which I've heard really good things about, but I just haven't played it. And then they made this, and I was like, well, what's it about? And someone went, it's Dead Space in Poland. And I asked them so many questions. Specifically, 3 questions. The first one, are you joking? The second one, what do you mean it's Dead Space in Poland? And the third one was, when did it come out? And that's how I know about this game. I have heard nothing else about this game apart from what I heard from my friend and then, like, the very little bit I read on the Steam page. Walking around through the graves here. Why is everything, I don't know what shape that is. Some sort of hedron. I know that much. Pusha asks, how can I tell? Maybe this is just how what Warsaw looks like. I would assume Warsaw is in a better state than this. And my inability to read Polish is about to shoot me in the foot. Okay, so we have 6 shots. We have a health indicator. We can move while we aim. You may have noticed, by the way, in the settings, I have my aim sensitivity and my look sensitivity maxed out. Let me go back to what it was by default, which is, I think it was like 50-50 for look. And it was 75, I think, and 50 for this. This is how slow the game moves, like, as standard, and I am swinging my mouse around on my desk right now. That is horrific and probably should have clued me into the fact that I'm going to end up with, you know, the home button being used to bring up the menu. By the way, other thing that annoyed me about when I was doing the quick checks on this. If I hit escape, it takes me to this. If I hit to this. If there is a tutorial on screen and I hit escape, it will take me to the tutorials, and then it will take me to the menu. I hope in the full game that a home doesn't actually pause the game, because I kind of need my home button. I need it for bookmarks, I need it for chapters, I need it for muting. You know, it's going to get really annoying if every time I have to mute this happens. It doesn't even, like, take it off of it either. I have to hit escape to go in and out of pause. I can't just hit home twice. I don't know why they've done this. I don't know who in any part of any gaming history has ever gone, you know where the pause button should be? It should be on home.
Travelers' structures found. Proceeded inside.
Citizens of the New Dawn District. Yeah, that's just gonna do its thing. Pusha says that rhombicosidodecahedrons are all the rage in this period. I would even... How many sides would that be? 20 something, right? That's gonna be 20... You know what? It's 20 something. I'll go that high. Stay calm, stay safe, stay strong. Well, I guess that worked out, didn't it? Pusha says, if only a keyboard had a dedicated pause key so the exact scenario could be avoided. Here's my issue with it. It is all the rage now to have cut down keyboards, so like 10 keyless, 70% keys, 90% keys, that sort of thing, right? I don't think home is one of the keys that makes it onto most of those keyboards. Am I gonna have to move my hotkey to like page up? I will know them by their eyes, will I? So far the only thing I know is that I really hate this control scheme. No what? Oh good. Don't open. There's a bit of a delay. Probably to make it so, you know, you have to think about what you do. Energy source acts as currency for travelers. Sufficient amount can be exchanged for items and upgrades. Thank you. I've done some other things as well for accessibility. For example, by default, every one of these like weird circles should be an E. I've changed it to be in that weird circle because I feel that's less intrusive. I've also dialed the darkness down. The default. Look at that, I can push pause and not have to care about the video tutorial, but if I hit escape the... Bloober. Bloober, please. Yeah, so this, for example, should be an E by default, but I've changed it. Also so that I can, you know, shoot myself in the foot by not exploring an area properly and missing an object. Okay, now that we've explored here, I'm going to assume it wants me to punch through this door. Fusha says those types of keyboards suck, they can't live without the numpad. Numpad for life. I used to have a... it was a Cooler Master Storm Quickfire Stealth, I think was what it was called. Yeah, no, I'm not breaking through there. School's out. Very nice. It's a note about someone being glad they don't have to go to school. And they had their first orange. How nice. I slid the key under the door. I'm going to go look for Mom. Well, I don't have a flashlight, so I'm gonna have to guess my boot will do. The whole staying at home stuff is so lame. Mom says it's getting serious now because they don't even let Dad go to work anymore. Weird stuff at the playground. Oh! Someone has died. Many people have died. But yeah, I used to have a quickfire stealth 10 keyless, whatever it's called. Oh, that's a key, sure. And it was really useful except for the fact that in order to use my numpad I had to hit num lock to change the right side of the keyboard from insert home, page up, whatever, to numpad. Which is really annoying when at work, or when I remote into the office, I need to have a numpad in order to use some of the commands. So I'm at home doing numlock, 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 numlock to do different things, and the office computer's getting so confused because I keep turning on an numlock and doing things. But now I have a full normal keyboard. I love this thing. It has everything I could ever want on it, like all the keys, and a volume wheel, and a button that does something. I kind of wish that the OLED screen was a bit more useful, but this is still a good keyboard. And the keys themselves are really weird. Stinks in here. I have a funny feeling someone might have died. Dad might have killed Mom. Okay. Oh. Yeah, I think they might be dead. Oh, how nice. Two-way door. Pusha asked, do I have an any key? I have many keys, and if I decided to change one of the keycaps to say any, I would. I like how that was an actual thing you could buy for a while, though, was the any key. I have an inventory. I also like how we can hear the breathing of the Traveler. And that I don't know if she's a she. Not in terms of like, oh, it could be a man, it could be anything. As in, like, I don't know if she's human. She might be an it. Other games, I guess I could mention that I was debating doing now. One game I would do, except I'm pretty sure I wouldn't be able to finish it before I need to go to the office, is I do have Fear 2 fully working on this machine now. So at some point we'll be doing Fear 2. I would say spontaneously that might be tomorrow, but okay, so the chemicals are just used to make anything. So health pack or bullets. Got it. So we might do Fear 2 tomorrow when I come back from the office. We'll see how tired I am. We might do some of the other demos that I keep saying we will get around to, like Ground Zero or Reanimal. I feel like me going into Reanimal might be a bit of a bad idea, though. There's yellow paint on that box. That means I can break it. Partially because I don't really think I've ever played Little Nightmares or any Little Nightmares adjacent game. And Reanimal, from what I can understand and fathom and gather, is developed by the original devs for Little Nightmares 1 and 2. So some of what it does might be lost on me. Or there might be some of the, like, shout-outs or Easter eggs or things like that that are very similar to Little Nightmares or are references to Little Nightmares. You know what? Hold on a second. Let me pause the recording. Let's read that again. Fusha says I'm either really tall or that bed is tiny, especially for a double. Assuming my head stops around where that camera is, and then those boots look kind of chunky, I'd say we're about 6 foot. Somewhere between 5'10" to 6'2", but I'm going to plant it in the middle at 6 foot. Yeah, we're a tall person. What's the size of a double bed? I don't actually remember the measurements of a double bed. I haven't had to buy a bed in years, although I've been debating getting a new one. I don't know if I like the fact that this is pulsating, boss. Pusha says a double is 4 foot by 6 inches. Sorry, 4 foot 6 inches by 6 foot 3 inches. So yeah, we'd be... Our feet would be like hanging slightly over the edge then, because you never go all the way up because some of the height of the bed is taken up by the headboard. So yeah, we'd fit on a double bed. Kind of. I just realized that I wish we had a flashlight or something to help illuminate these so I can get a better look. But no dice. Oh good, someone left the mannequins out. Next to... I'm going to assume that's a heat lamp. I don't know if I trust this, boss. Oh, now I have a lamp? Now the lamp has decided it wants to join in. Right. I want to go back this way and look at these guys. Yeah, so this is very definitely like human beings have been pressed into clay and turned into a mulch. I like this. I was going to mention other games I want to play at some point as a thing. Stasis. I'm pretty sure I own all of Stasis, as in Stasis, Stasis Bone Temple, Kane is a free-to-play thing to it. I don't think I own the other game by the Brotherhood, which is, I don't think, related to the Stasis series. But Stasis is a pretty interesting horror isometric point-and-click adventure game. I know it doesn't sound that interesting, but I've seen one of the spooks in it, and I went, this has my attention. Well, I'm out of ideas. Wait. No. Pusha says that mannequin is cold, and that mannequin is deep in thought. Oh, which, the one back here, the one that is cold? Oh no, this mannequin, yeah, this mannequin is definitely deep in thought. They're trying to think of the next hot new design they're gonna do. The latest in mannequin fashion. Okay, let's go find a 3-digit code that someone's left lying around, because what point is a locked door if no one's gonna leave the key somewhere? Fine, I'll make bullets. Oh, is this a projector that requires
A generator.
2 fuses?
Implanting 2 fuses.
Okay, well, I'm going to hazard a guess that there won't be a... What are you? Save!
Found. Saving collected data.
Passage to Sector D31 established. The perimeter seems safe. The port in this safe house is now active, using the fuses from another device upstairs. There was an emitter relic left in the base. By the will of the collective, I claimed it to aid the vocation. To my successors, if you need any more resources, you can use the surplus. The code is 367. Moving out to C31. Such is our calling.
Found a travel log.
Oh, I hit the wrong button.
It was left here by the predecessor. He went off to C31, proceeding with the search.
Wait, there's just a fuse lying here? What, did the predecessor rip it out, throw it here, and slide under the door? Like, how did that one work? Fuchsia says it's time to brute force. There's only 1,000 possibilities. I kind of want to explore more around this way before we look into the locker. Association of Private Entrepreneurs of the New Dawn District. Yeah, my Polish is non-existent. I ain't gonna know any of this. Oh. Oh, interesting. I don't have to hit E. If I sprint towards it, it will, like, auto-jump me across. That's good to know. That's probably going to be a mechanic later on. Hello. What are you? That is not what I thought it was. I thought I was about to open a box. Pusha says, such is our calling. And why aren't I leaving my travel logs on the desk too? Because clearly, I'm going to be the winner in this scenario. There will be no predecessor. I don't have anything to worry about. Oh, I thought the fuse was going to be in the supply box. I am hearing that right. Right? Something just beat its way through a bunch of areas. Am I going to get jumped? Cease and desist. Well, that didn't work. I guess I can't just throw hands. We can throw hands.
It's down. Shell not compromised.
I honestly thought a charge shot would have done a little bit more. Oh, we're here. Yeah, I was expecting more from a charge shot. Like, I guess we're gonna just mag dump the next one we see. Might as well do the 357 here. Oh, 367. Do I hit 4? What a great, just what a great. We got notes, ammo, health kit. Shoot a quick heal. Steal everything there. I'm gonna guess this is the door I was trying. Wow, I'm a genius. I know how to walk. Don't need anything from there, apparently. I will finish the list of games I wanted to do during Halloween at some point, but first, a note. A single tea bag can be used 6 times. I was going to say, this is some sort of, like, rationing morale boost letter. Fuchsia says they don't remember the last time they played a game where the first enemy didn't die from a charged headshot. The only thing I can think of, and because this is supposed to be like some sort of, oh, I say supposed to, the easiest parallel is Dead Space. The first few necromorphs you run into, they do take a few shots to go down, even if you do know about the sever the limb sort of deal. Having said that, I put a charge shot, a few punches in, I stomped at least once, and then I want to go back up here and make sure there was anything I missed. And then, after that, she took another charge shot and died. Yeah, see, there's a hole here. Now, if it doesn't take more ammo, which I don't think it does, if it doesn't take more ammo for charge shots, then we'll charge shot as often as we can. But if there's not much of a damage difference between charged and uncharged, I'm not going to bother. Pusha asks, am I sure that I didn't need to see a video tutorial on how to press Q to heal? I think I might figure it out. Just about. Now, putting fuses into a box, that might be a bit difficult. I've solved that problem too. Cat! It won't let you shoot the cat. It actually puts a... I didn't push the button to find out. I didn't try to actually shoot the cat. I just aimed, and it went, no, you can't shoot the cat. So there is a little bit of morality in this game. Again, big fan of the music, big fan of the atmosphere, big fan of the audio. I didn't really talk about the enemy that jumped us, but I kind of liked their fleshy design. Digital camera? Oh, it's treasures from Resident Evil 4. Marcel is missing. Is it Marcel? Markel? Oh. Let's say someone went missing. I'll need to do more combat to see how I feel about combat. For the time being, it feels like it's fine. It hasn't really got any problems with it, outside of, as I say, we need to see if there is a reason to do charged instead of not charged. Can you guess my muscle memory is kicking in every time I try to mute the microphone? Pusha says that I tried to shoot the cat. No, I was just aiming at the cat. Didn't want to try and shoot the thing. If I did try and shoot the thing, you would have seen me fire a shot and miss. Okay, we have some sort of big ominous spire over there with the glowing green lights on it. Okay, that was interesting. You can't see the overlay because I don't have it enabled for you to be able to see it on OBS, so Twitch and YouTube don't see it. When we had the frame drop just then, it went from saying 60 FPS to 58 FG, and I'm pretty sure I don't have frame generation turned on. So that's interesting. By the way, here are my settings. I'm not one of those people who, like, is crazy about graphics. As long as the frame rate can hit 60 and stay stable, good. If I can make it look good and still be stable, great. But when it comes to recording and streaming, I will always dial the graphics down just a little bit. Let me get comfortable. Unless it's like Resident Evil 2 Remake, where having a huge frame rate actually gives you an advantage, in which case I will uncap the frame rate and we will all suffer for it.
I encountered malformed biomass. Caution advised.
You encountered this inside the building, you had nothing to say about it. Why are we suddenly worried now? Is it because you got jumped? You might want to check the batteries on that light. So jumping across a gap you can do while sprinting. You can't auto jump down, which is probably a really good thing. Look at a save point. No, it's not. It's more ammo. So A0 is locked. I assume this is where we need to go.
To those who were sent here after me, if you have been tasked with finding a target that is located in A0 or any sector in the vicinity of the Unity Hospital, you will fall. I am cutting off the path. The chances of traversing it are close to zero. Resources are scarce. Evaluate whether you can be of use to the vocation in other ways. Such is our calling.
Pretty sure I could climb over that with or use a block of C4 and blow it open. Or I could just jump down here. How are you gonna stop me if I go this way? Probably not the right way to go. I'm gonna guess I have to go towards the glowing red goop. Oh, I see. I need to let it fire itself off. That's what it was. It's not a case of you charge it and let it loose. You have to hold the charge and it will auto-fire when it's full. Got it. So in that case, that means I did put a few uncharged... I think I put a few uncharged rounds into the first target then. Oh, hit Q back. That's going to catch me out in the full game. Hitting Q by accident is going to burn all my heals. I have to admit though, from what I've seen so far, I'm actually pretty sure I'm going to pick this up. I don't know when I'll get around to doing the playthrough. I don't know if I might wait a bit. Because I know the most recent driver release for the 90... well, AMD. AMD's most recent video driver release. That's not narrowing it down. The Adrenaline drivers provided by AMD for AMD graphics cards. There we go. Brain has finally brained it in a way that I actually can work with. They recently had support for this game as like a thing. So what I might do if there are performance issues in the main game is wait for this to bake just another month or so. That's... I thought that was a graphical issue. Nope, that's just blood raining from the ceiling. I might wait for the game to bake for like another month or so, and then we'll go for it. I'm gonna have to ask my coworker how to pronounce some Polish words and a general guideline on Polish pronunciation, because a lot of these names are gonna be in Polish. Took me long enough to learn how to say Zabrówka. Don't really need that stuck to my mouse, thank you. Don't you love it when your cable gets snagged on something? I hate it. Yeah, you better run. I have 10 rounds of ammunition and I know how to use some of them. Yeah, you can tell when I do... That's the wrong hotkey. That's the right hotkey. I'm gonna have to set that up to have 2 hotkeys as well. I've been debating getting a, not necessarily a stream deck, but like some sort of external thing like that, you know, like a macro pad or something, so that I can bind not only my hotkeys for chapter, breaker, marker, which they all have different things. Breaker I don't really need anymore now that we can do local live recordings for the YouTube people, because I have a different hotkey that is instead pause and resume, so they just get a weird jump cut by default. Did I just make a shortcut? I did. Probably be very helpful pretty soon. But I could put other things on there as well, and I still need to check. We'll put a poll up at some point for the YouTube people to vote. Though, at the current time of recording, there's only ever like 3, maybe 4 people vote on any of the things I put up, which is fine. Any feedback is good feedback, but more feedback is better than none. Or not much. But whether or not they would mind if we had things like sound alerts or sort of I push a button like a radio host and a sound effect happens. I'm not talking as in like weird wacky sounds, but there are some that I have in mind that I would like to have. Like, say, the first 5 seconds of E1M1.
The orphans grow even stronger as they merge. Efficiency discipline is recommended. It is highly recommended to proceed with caution. Such is our calling.
Fusha asks which of the ones I know how to use. 1st, 3rd, 5th, and 9th rounds. All the other ones? Absolutely no idea. This is a glass door. This is a glass-framed door with a glass and a glass, and you're telling me I can't just... That is some durable glass. I keep doing the wrong hotkey, that's going to confuse me. Okay, so the orphans can fuse together into bigger creatures, which is probably how they explain different creatures later on. Yeah, I'm not going insane. There are just weird particles floating around in the air. Oh, that sounds organic. Fusha says Polish glass is built different. Clearly, I have no idea how. I don't trust this. Okay, well, maybe it's not like Dead Space then. I'll trust that for a second. Yeah, clearly I was completely unprepared for the damage resistance properties of Polish glass. But could my light, like, revitalize itself, please? Even though I know she is going to stand up. Hello? Oh, you're not... Oh, you're absorbing her. Did I get her? Well, first death of the game. Mission has failed. Where do we restart from? How far back am I going in this demo? Keep moving, don't let the enemy surround me. I moved, and then she managed to, like, get a longer range hit out. Do I really start? Wait, where is this? Oh, back in this bit. Right. For a second I thought we were all the way back before we ran outside and saw the cat. So, note to self. Melee sucks. And she was staggered, she wasn't dead. Although that other creature, I think, just revived her. I thought it was going to absorb her, which is why I was putting rounds into the big boy, not into her. Fusha says if it was the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 6th, and 8th, that would also almost be a Mahjong hand. Unfortunately, I don't have the Mahjong bullets. That's an upgrade I get later on, I would assume. Ads are arriving in about 55 seconds. I guess I'll ramble about, like, things I have planned during the ad break. But first we have to win this fight. Yeah, so you stand up from that one.
When they merge, they become stronger. I must not allow this to happen.
Yeah, show me the video tutorial. Is there a way to interrupt it? Yes? No? No. So we kind of have a similar system to the Crimson Heads from Resident Evil. Kind of. And I'm down to 6 rounds. I'm back up to 11. There's no other collectibles over here. Here. Alright, good. Fuchsia said, if only I'd left travel logs to my successor. My successor is me. It's fine. See, it was all a weird premonition. Fuchsia says, those also went much better. Doesn't really look like merging, though. Looks more like absorbing. The body mass doesn't change at all. I was expecting it to take that and then have, like, this weird form with, like, extra arms. Or, like, be bulkier and, like, have like 2 faces or like 1 like face fused into a shoulder. That was just, I think it was the same character model we saw earlier, but it was now spiky, which is a bit of a letdown. But hey, now we know that works. So, ad break. Time to ramble about things. But yeah, I've debated getting something like a Steam Deck or just like a macro pad of like 15 buttons I can just bind different things to, because that's functionally what a Steam Deck is just a mini keyboard with dedicated buttons that you bind to Twitch, OBS, broadcast, whatever thing. And so, I want to go have a look over here actually. Have a little bit of a look around at the shoes. So, I've debated having things like the first 5 seconds of E1M1 or the opening voice line for Faith, which is what I'm about to do, has not been approved by the Vatican. I think there are like a very few other ones I've considered as well, but obviously, not everyone over on the YouTube side of things is going to want to see a playthrough of, like, say, this game, and then every so often there's just like, the E1M1 music kicking in out of nowhere. Which is also why, for the time being, whenever there's a raid, follow, sub, resub, I don't have the audio for that added. And then for, well, it is copyright reasons, but other reasons as well as to why I don't include music. When we do things like that Battlefield 4 stream, where we had the music during the live play, but nothing on the VOD, nothing on the YouTube archive. Oh, we didn't actually read this last time. Workers of the New Dawn, unite for a better future. Yeah, they look pretty united. Do I hear another cat? I've just realized that, like, that's kind of Pip-Boy looking wrist thing. Oh, while I remember, Fuchsia, remember how you mentioned Blood West and I said that I think I know what that is, I think I got on my wish list? I went to Beld Vanguard's stream, and Beld is partnered with, I'm going to give them a quick shout out actually, yep, we got an alt tab for this. Beld is partnered with Fanatical, and I looked at the Fanatical bundles, and do you know what I found? I found Blood West in a bundle with some other games I wanted. So I now own Blood West and some other games. I also now own all the frictional games, as opposed to just Amnesia Dark Descent, Amnesia Pigs, and the Penumbra Overture. I now own all of them. So getting back to that dangling thread of a thing I was mentioning earlier, other games I wanted to play during Halloween, but we might do at some other point later. I want to go through from beginning to end of the frictional games list, starting with Penumbra Overture, into Black Plague, into that weird third one that I don't think is really them. I think it was made by a different studio. I forgot what that one was called. Requiem, I think it was called. Into Amnesia Dark Descent, into Amnesia Machine for Pigs, into Amnesia the... not the Bunker. There's another one. There's the Amnesia that takes place in, like, the Middle East, I think. Then there's Amnesia Bunker. I want to get through that series at some point.
The orphans grow even stronger.
Oh, right, we had this.
Efficiency discipline is recommended. It is highly recommended to proceed with caution. Such is our calling.
Workers of the New Dawn unite for a better future. Pusha says female workers specifically? Oh, is it like the female form of the word? Because I had assumed that like that was a guy, that was a woman, and that was a daughter, but no, they could all be women. It's kind of hard to tell with the way the flashlight is with the blowing this up. Yeah, that could be 3 women. With a dove of peace. Pusha says Blood West is a pretty slow, methodical game. Hold on, I'm just trying to shut this door. Cat! Oh, look, they even sat down.
Cat.
Borovka? I think I pronounced that name right. Wait, there's an entire dossier section for cats. Cats are a collectible in this game? Pusha says they feel like one would enjoy Blood West if they enjoyed Thief and Commandos / Desperados, but not if they expect immersive stealth, and hate tedious inventory management. I've played Commandos on PlayStation 2. I own, I think, the Commandos 1, 2, and 3 collection. Thief I still haven't got around to. I might do that soon. I need to start up the MechWarrior 5 playthrough at some point. I know that's not going to be Sundays. I think I know what I'm going to be doing Sundays, and it's a real weird one. Because I know a lot of what I tend to play doesn't tonally fit with other things I've played. Given that...
Access denied. No essences detected.
Terminal found. Marking its location for later.
Okay. Guess we have to go get an essence. I mean, I know I tend to run the gauntlet of different tones. Case in point, we were going through horror games, various different ones. Then we were going into Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker, then War for the Overworld, then Slime Rancher. I've mentioned before that I'm tempted to do a Pokemon Red playthrough. I think I'm actually going to go ahead and do it. Because once War for the Overworld finishes, I'll then have given enough time for YouTube to vote in on how they want that playthrough to go for MechWarrior 5 Mercenaries. So far it looks like it's going to be a fresh playthrough from the beginning all the way to the Shadows of Kerensky DLC, so that's going to take a few goes, a few streams. I think the first run-through took 9, so we're looking at like 2-3 months worth of stuff. Especially if I don't off-screen anything, which I didn't do the first time, so we're probably not going to off-screen anything this time. That's the save point. Use to unlock special upgrades for the Traveler's equipment. Okay, I have like so many things I can push here. What are you? The store? The store. Okay. Wow, you need a lot of money for... Oh. Handgun ammo... Is that 100... Is that 6 for 100? No, that is 100 for 1. Shame. I forgot what I was saying. Oh yeah, MechWarrior 5 and everything else. So MechWarrior 5 will take place after War for the Overworld. It will replace it on the Saturdays. So Sundays, I want something kind of chill that I can just sort of sit there and we can sort of go for as long as I want to, cut it as short as I want to, because Sunday's more of a, hey, I just feel like streaming on this day. So it's going to chop and change between Pokemon Red and maybe Battlefield 6. But it's probably going to be purely Pokemon Red, and then Battlefield 6 is, if I want to during the week, we'll do Battlefield 6. Or we'll jump in with something else like a demo. I don't know. We'll see. What I do know... Thought that was a bad idea. Maybe I should have picked up Suit Integrity so I have more health. Anyway. So this Sunday, that means I need to get Pokemon Red working. We'll be doing Gen 1. Because if I'm going to play every Pokemon game, we're going per generation. Something I've just mentioned before is like, I kind of want to go in the TikTok way that they did. Not as in the website TikTok, but as in like, Pokemon releases a TikTok. So there's a tick, first part of the generation. The talk is like the step between the first release and then the next generation. So for a good example of this, Red, Blue is tick, Yellow is talk. Gold, Silver is tick, Crystal is talk. Ruby, Emerald is tick. Sorry, Ruby, Sapphire is tick. Emerald is talk. You probably get the idea at this point. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. I would want to do Red. I don't know if I would want to do Yellow after that, but we'll do Red definitely. I kind of feel like I should wait and save up for Firepower. Because 8% faster charge. Whoa. Firepower, an extra 10 damage. If charge speed acts as a multiplier, I'd rather have the Firepower, honestly. What's this? Stash. Okay, so we got some sort of weird, like, Dead Space, Resident Evil kind of thing going on. Also, while I mention it, because, you know, tonal shift is how we're sort of rolling with this, I guess. If I do slap in, lock in on the idea of the Pokemon Red playthrough for Sundays, the customize something can be used to be like, hey, can you get this Pokemon and name it something, provided the name isn't horrific. I'll name the Pokemon whatever. So if you want to name a Drowsy, I don't know. I can't think of a name because I'm about to listen to a log. Give me a second.
Like most solid organic compounds, such as wood or biological tissue, orphan bodies are susceptible to rapid oxidation. My observations also suggest that incineration is a proficient way to remove organic accumulations, which I named biomass. The torch is the most efficient tool to ultimately destroy tissue before it has time to regenerate. Such is our calling.
Also, there's 2 messages I haven't read from Fuchsia because I was too busy rambling and looking at things in the game. Sorry about that. Fuchsia said, I, Marwol, have tried to shoot the collectible cats again. No. I was pointing out what the cat was, you know, by focusing on it. And your eyes would be drawn to where the crosshair are. You'd see the cat. That's what that was. Fuchsia also asks, does this mean I have a map? I pushed M when I read that message, and it doesn't look like I do. I have a compass. That's about it. Interesting. Okay. But yeah, to the customize something Pokemon thing. If you wanted me to get, like, say, a Drowsy, and you wanted to name it, I don't know. I'm trying to think of a name that fits in the original Pokemon Red. I think it's like 8 characters, the maximum. Might be 6, 7. Might be 7, actually. If you want me to name it Peeper, that's fine, but don't go any weirder than that. Actually, you can go a bit weird, but like... nothing like nonce. I'm not having... I say this. Actually, I might take a Drowsy called Nonce, but that's the very fringe edge of questionable naming right there. And that is probably liable to get that Pokemon boxed pretty quick. But there'll be some... Interact with the dispenser to receive flamethrower ammo. What dispenser? This dispenser? Ah, I see. I just pushed the button, and I'm glad I pushed the button near where I needed to be. Ah, I see. It gives me fuel again and again. That's actually pretty cool. Pusha says, thank you for these clear and specific naming guidelines. It is literally just so I'm not running around with like a bunch of really questionable words as Pokemon. And I'm going, yeah, Nonce used hypnosis. That's great. Traveler Seal Key. Oh, I can use this to open up a A0, can't I? I have no issue, by the way, running around with a Pokemon named Bitchin. Because... I think the naming scheme rules are basically going to be, if I look at the name and I go, then it might be a no. Otherwise, go for it. Fuchsia says, but I'm gonna fail if I go to A0. Nonsense. When have I ever failed in this playthrough? Of this demo that's supposed to be 40 minutes. Scraps are used to fabricate something complex. Okay. Oh, good note about... I am my fucking nephew before you choose the plaster off the walls. Okay. Fuchsia says, fall! That's what the log said. When have I ever fallen in this game? I don't think I have. I think I've dropped myself down, but I've never fallen. Fuchsia says, surely I can carry more than one flaming ammo at a time? It won't actually let me. See, if I get too close, goes red, and then it says, no, you're not allowed. So I can carry one with me at all times. Can I use it over here? Yes, but it doesn't do anything. Fuchsia's complaining about the rationing. Look, at least it's infinite, right? At least every time I use it, it then gives me another one. I don't have to worry. Or maybe I don't use the key over there. Maybe use the key over here. Yep, that looks like a place to use a key. Wait. Was it only letting me carry one because my inventory was full? No, it's one. That's it. There's probably an upgrade that lets you carry more. Oh, is this how I stop the big greeblies from grabbing the bodies as I burn the body? The virus never sleeps. Oh, the virus was a good film. Fight anyone who says otherwise.
Can the citizen confirm that her name is Veronica Kaminsky, born 1948?
Dr. Veronica Kaminsky. What is this? Why am I here? Am I being arrested?
Doctor, you are here because the situation at the steelworks has changed. We have come into possession of a certain asset.
Asset?
Well, at least I recognize how to pronounce Veronica. Worked with a few Veronicas in my time. Worked with a few Susanna as well. I don't like how they start breathing and flapping around. Fuchsia says I should just put it on the ground. Sorry, the fuel canister on the ground around the corner so the dispenser doesn't know I've got one. I wonder if that would work. Shooting this lock clearly didn't work. Bearing in mind I charge shot of the bolts off of a drop pod, I assume is what we came in with. But padlock, just like the glass, it is made of tougher stuff here in Poland. Is that Disney World? I don't think that's Disney World. Oh. Oh, is that the demo? Is it done? Oh, no, I still have control. I genuinely thought that... Is that a... I know that tank. I know this tank. I know this tank. Let me see the front plate. The glacis. I think this is an IS. I think this is a IS-1. I think that's an IS-1. I thought because the title card appeared there that it was the end of the demo, and I was like, but I've barely got into this. It did say 40 minutes. I guess if you held down the button, you'd be, and also not standing around like I tend to do, you're probably a bit further along. Fuchsia said they forgot it's supposed to be fall. Now that's very clearly summer weather right there. And poor tank thinks it's a bus. Listen. First off, it's a tram. Second, you can fit many people on and in a tank. technically a bus is just an unarmored, de-weaponized tank. Especially if you'd start putting armor plating onto it and then put some people inside with Kalashnikovs, then it basically is a battle bus and it functionally is a tank. Although I guess you could say it's an armored personnel carrier at that point, but at that point you're splitting hairs with the military-industrial complex, and really, you should be more concerned about why 30 people in a bus are riding towards you in corrugated steel and AKs. I think that is a IS-1. You know what? I'm actually gonna check. Give me an image. That is indeed an IS-1. I say that now, second guess myself. Maybe I'm wrong. There's no way it's a T-34 variant. I don't think it's a T-34 variant. I'm gonna stick with my guns. I'm gonna stick with saying it's an IS-1. Someone somewhere can correct me and go, actually, Marwol, that is an IS-2 was configured in 1944 during the push of Operation Barbarossa. And I will go, okay, Sean Connery, why are you telling me so much about tanks? Oh, I got a toy. Fusha says, let's pilot it. What's the Orphans gonna do against a tank? I really do want to play a game, right? The closest that I've found to this is Cepheus Protocol. But I don't think Cepheus Protocol is that good of a game. I think it still needs a lot of work. But I want to play a game where you control, like, a squad of people. Like a small RTS type thing, but, like, over-the-shoulder control, like... say I have 3 people with me, I can be like, go here, go here, go here. And it's like, you fight zombies and undead, and you survive, and you do, like, missions and tasks, and you... And then there's, like, an overworld, like, RTS sort of thing, kind of like XCOM. I guess what I'm basically asking for is XCOM at this point. But with zombies. I can push this back, judging by the scrapes on the ground. But, like... You can choose, okay, we're gonna go in here with, like, an armored personnel carrier and some infantry, and then the APC and everything, like, fights in third-person real-time, but you can direct people with squad tactics. And as I say, Cepheus Protocol, if I'm pronouncing that right, is kind of like that. It's more focused on trying to be the military controlling an outbreak. And then responding to it. But as I say, Cepheus Protocol requires some more time in the oven. I heard you! Three charge shots to the dome. Takes one of them down. Okay, we can jump down here and I can see a box. This is where it wants me to go as well. Kind of wish we did have a map so I could double check to see if there was, like, anything anywhere else, but... Oh well. That's not how you get down. Fusha says, nice shot. I'm going to be honest, I thought I missed 2 of those shots. Hey, let's go check if this burns his body. I'm smart. Oh, I'm not that smart. I should have stood here and done it, because then we would have caught 2 bodies. Oh, yeah, I might have congratulated myself a bit early on that. Well, hey, we took out one of them, and now we confirmed that is how you get rid of bodies. It is kind of like the... Yeah, I don't have any more... Oh, right, hold on. But yeah, it felt like I missed 2 of those headshots, and somehow I got away with it, so... we won't question it too much. Does this burn? No. Pusha says, rapid oxidation, successful. Very successful. Look at the way they burn. Do I want to burn another... Okay, we're going to stand by here and do it. Efficiency! There we go. Burning 2 bodies for the price of 1 infinite fuel canister. What is this way? Is that a save point? Huh. Where I'm going, we don't need to save. I have to admit, though, I am actually really enjoying this game. The whole thing just has me hooked. I haven't ran into anything yet that's made me go, Ooh. Feel like gurgling. Tasty. Try and get him away. I got 17 rounds. Pusha asked, what was that over there? Are you referring to the weird, like, decaying sun? That? Yeah, I have no idea. I don't wanna think about it just yet. I wanna go this way. Okay, there's another body to burn. You best believe that means I'm immediately gonna go. I kind of wish I could carry more than one. Yeah, there's some more energy. This goes nowhere. Okay, well, if there were going to be bodies here that they were going to stand up and steal, I think we've done a good job of making sure they can't stand up or steal them. That missed. Next mag. Miss. Next mag.
Let our work continue.
Such is our calling.
So, 3 charge shots to the dome to kill a target. Where's that other body? Go on, where are you? I'm gonna find your little wormy, writhing, fleshy pulp somewhere. There's the one here that I burned. There's... Pusha says they bet 2 headshots and a body shot work too. Probably would work. In fact, I'm willing to bet one of those was at least 2 head, 1 body, or 2 body, 1 head. What are you? Emitter can be used to manipulate time oddities.
I like module. emitter. It can be used to manipulate the oddities. Got a visual on the fallen predecessor.
So,
There's an oddity blocking the path.
you said Fallon predecessor, not Fallen. I just want to make sure I heard that right. Fallon? Like, the TV guy, right? How do I manipulate? Do I threaten it with a gun? Well, we're not shooting it. I can tell you that one. Left control and X. Ah. Okay. Is that timed?
The predecessor, ND3500, reached. The anchor is intact. Well done. Accessing predecessor's travel log. Attempting data salvage. Target seeded. The predecessor was on a search for a target called Edvard Wisniewski. Calculating coordinates. Confirmed dive location in D3. The nearby housing project. You never reached him. I will carry on where you left off. The vocation continues.
That's where it ends. Okay. Yeah, I'll admit, I'm hooked. I want to know more. I want to see more. The environment is great. The monster design is interesting for like a body horror sort of thing. The atmosphere is pretty good. The sound is pretty good. Definitely want to see more. But as I say, I don't know when that is going to be. Considering, as I've said, Sundays is probably going to end up being Pokemon Red. Saturdays, after War for the Overworld, will then be MechWarrior 5. Thursday, Fridays are still going to be Metal Gear games. We'll see. This might not... and again, I also probably want to leave this to bake for a little bit longer. Progress and save file will carry over seamlessly. No, because when I get to this in the future, I'm going to want to do a fresh save. Just in case there's like minor differences, and also to refresh my memory of what we've seen. There might be like logs that are slightly different, or that I might have missed. So it'll be an entirely new playthrough when we do get around to this, but this is going pretty high up on the list of things I want to get around to. I'm intrigued. Pusha says that's a free bridge, and such is our calling. Trent, you're raiding in just as I finished the demo. Thank you for the raid. Thank you for the raid. How was The Last of Us 2? Give you a quick shout out here. Yeah, This looks pretty good. I say, I know you've just started The Last of Us Part 2. Let's go back to the main menu so we have a little bit more to see, even if it is just this. Actually, I'm curious, where does continue pick me up from? Because I do want to have a look around that tank area a bit more. Oh, it puts you right at the end of the demo. Okay. Well, how nice I can pick up a health kit by here when the game's about to end. Can I go back the way I came? Yes, I can. Trent says, W demo streamer, go to demo finisher. They made it to the city. They're blocks away from where they live IRL. It's pretty cool that it's taking place somewhere where you live. You can sort of recognize where you've, where you are in the game. You'd be like, ah, I know this place. I've walked down that road. There's a great Denny's around the corner. Or, you know, whatever. See, I've not played any of the Last of Us games. I've only seen them through osmosis. I haven't even watched the HBO series, but I hear it's pretty good. Is there a way back up, or is it just one way and that's it? Like, is there a way over here? No, there's no way back up over here. Shame. Pusha says, wouldn't it be funny if continue put you past the end of the demo, let you play the entire game just like that? I have a funny feeling that's the case for when you actually have the full game. But unfortunately, we don't. And I definitely can't climb back up here. No. Okay, so we can't go look around where the IS is. But for anybody who's curious on this game, even though you're coming in at the end of the demo where I can push a button and then we have it. This is a game by the Bloober team, Bloober, as opposed to Blooper. They have previously worked on, I think it's called Laser Fear 2, they did the Silent Hill 2 remake. This game, as far as I am aware, is a Dead Space successor. It plays kind of like a Dead Space successor, but it also has elements of the more recent Resident Evil games in it, in regards to how the upgrade system works, and inventory, and kind of combat, actually. And the burning of bodies is very Resident Evil, as opposed to stomping on them, which is Dead Space. Let's go have a look at that anomaly again. This demo is free to play. We've seen that it is basically 40 minutes to an hour, although I ramble a lot, so we took longer to get through it. Full game is released, but as I've said a few times during the stream, I'm probably not going to pick up that full game for about a month or so while I get other things done, like War for the Overworld, MechWarrior 5 Mercenaries on the second run-through, Pokemon Red, which, yeah, that's a bit of a tonal change. But it's a very interesting game. I haven't had any major performance issues with this, but also I wouldn't expect my machine to have much of a performance issue with this. So I'm probably not the best person to ask about, like, performance problems. But there are apparently some performance issues on lower-end machines, so if you're interested in the game, I'd say get the demo first, play the demo first. If you have no problems with it, then maybe get the full game. But I've enjoyed this a lot. Yeah. Very, very good atmosphere, very nice. Very, very pretty. Well, I say very pretty. The art direction on this is pretty good. All the fog. There's cats! There's collectible cats! No, that's not what I want to push. Collectible cats. Look at it. Collectible kitty. I did not at any point, in any way, shape or form attempt to shoot a cat. Do not listen to what anybody says. Cats. And yeah. So this does actually bring me to the end of the stream, though. I apologize for ending pretty quick and that we're going to be raiding out again pretty quick, but this was fun. And hopefully we'll find somebody else that's having some fun as well that we can go to.